Good morning. Today is March the 1st of 2022, and this is our regularly scheduled monthly meeting of the Alabama Public Service Commission. For the record, the public was notified of today's meeting by notice dated January the 26th of 2022. Welcome. Thank you for taking your time to be with us today, and if you will please turn off your personal devices to make sure as not to interrupt anyone while they're speaking, and I'll do my best to remind you to turn it back on when the meeting's over. Let me introduce my colleagues here with me today. To my right is Commissioner Jeremy H. Oden in place 1. To my left is Commissioner Chris Chip Beaker Jr., but don't let anyone be confused. He's not to my left. He's purely a right-winger on my left. Let me say that correctly. Is that the right way? Yes, ma'am. I'm Twinkle Andress Kavanaugh, President of the Commission, and to my far right is John Garner, our Executive Director and Chief Administrative Law Judge, and below at the table is Mr. Walter Thomas, the Secretary of the Commission. And as is customary each month, one commissioner gets to bring in a friend to offer the prayer and the pledge, and this month that honor goes to Commissioner Oden to introduce his friend.
Thank you, Madam President, and it is an honor for me to introduce my chief of staff, I guess, first, because today we get the honor of meeting his lovely bride, and so I'm going to, you know, they always say just let the husband introduce his wife because that way you don't get in trouble. So, but I'm going to give it over to Greg and let him introduce our special guest today.
Thank you, Commissioner Oden. My wife, Mary Poole, the two of us have been married for 16 years. We have a 7-year-old daughter. Mary's an attorney that works at Bond, Boda, Shinham, Donaldson, where she's also a shareholder. Prior to her legal career, she had a banking career at Colonial Bank. She's a self-proclaimed Army brat who was born in Charlottesville, Virginia, and moved to Alabama, Anniston, Alabama, when she was 7 years old, and has been in Alabama ever since. Currently, she's also the president of the Parent Association at St. James School, which definitely takes a lot of her free time, but she gets to spend even more time with our daughter, Harper, because of that. And what else was I going to say? That's pretty... she's been involved in several organizations, the Junior League, Brentwood Children's Home, Rebuilding Alabama, and she's the Girl Scouts. Our daughter's a Girl Scout, and definitely helping her sell cookies. Last year, our daughter sold the most in her troop, although she's taking a little bit of a break this year, still selling them, but not trying to win any awards this year.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mary, for coming. You'll go right over there.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we are so humbled and blessed to be able to pray to you today. We thank you so much for this country that we're allowed to live in and all the freedoms and choices we're allowed to have. God, we also thank you for this great state of Alabama. Beautiful ocean to mountains, Chehaw. And we just ask that you will bless each and every citizen in Alabama. Also, we want to say a special prayer to Ukraine. God, it's so disheartening to see a country go to war against this country. It has been amazing to watch this president of Ukraine be a leader to his country, to watch people from other countries to walk into this country to try to defend this country. And we ask God that all the countries that are coming together currently, and there are many, many, this is the most I've ever seen, even Switzerland, we ask God that you will allow these countries to make a decision to help Ukraine against Russia. Also, God, we ask that you'll be with those in Russia, that you will allow them to see the light, to see your will, so that they can rise against the dictator in Russia. God, I just want to ask, too, that you will be with each and every one of the commissioners today, that you will allow this meeting to be able to go with your will, that you will allow your will to be done, and allow each and every one of us as we go forward this week to remember that when we rise in the morning, that we always work for you.
Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I want to be between man.
And now, before I turn the microphone over to my colleagues, I'd like a small point of personal privilege. And let me just say, your prayer was beautiful, very timely, and we are so blessed to live in a country where we can still pray and still pledge allegiance to the greatest country this world has ever known, in my opinion. Today, in showing our support for the people of Ukraine, my colleagues and I have placed a bouquet of sunflowers on the dais to remind all of us to continue praying for Ukraine. As a mom, my heart is torn by the atrocities we are seeing. But as a public servant, I am encouraged by the strength and leadership of the Ukrainian elected officials that I know are under immense stress. May God bless all of them. From what I have seen, this is Putin's war, not the people of Russia. This should remind all of us that the leaders we choose can make good decisions that promote peace and prosperity, and the reverse is also true. Bad decisions can have devastating consequences. President Biden, immediately upon taking office, made the decision to halt our energy independence by stopping the Keystone XL pipeline, not renewing drilling permits, halting drilling on federal lands. He even went a step further by creating the White House Interagency Council on Environmental Justice. It is now crystal clear that these decisions that make us dependent on Russia and the Middle East for our oil are bad policy for America. But President Biden made the choice to side with the most liberal environmentalist in our country instead of the hardworking men and women in America. 40% of Russia's economy comes from the sale of oil and gas, and our country is paying President Putin for almost 600,000 barrels of oil every day. That amounts to nearly $1.8 billion per month. B with a billion. This is the money Putin is using to kill innocent Ukrainians. Rising gas prices and rising natural gas prices and gasoline at the pump that create runaway inflation can be corrected. The solution is simple. Say no to Russia and say no to the Middle East. We need to be energy independent. And as I said in 2008, standing in front of the Alabama Capitol, and absolutely nothing has changed with my message since that day in 2008. We still need to drill, baby, drill, and frack, baby, frack. Let's use our God-given abundant resources right here in America. Thank you. Commissioner?
Here, here, Madam President, and I'll just echo those. That is a wonderful speech, especially all the stuff that is happening as we as a country should be stepping forward and leading this nation and leading the world. That's what we do. And it is in a position now of just a mess, basically. I love to use that word because it's a mess. And so we need to make sure that we, as the world's leader and the foremost free country in this whole entire world, stand up and allow the people of Ukraine to actually stand up and give them the support. And they are. And so we want to back them and make sure that our freedom rings within their ears. Thank you, Madam President, for giving me that time.
Thank you, and I agree wholeheartedly with what you just said. Commissioner?
Thank you. Ditto to that as well. We all feel the same way, all of us Americans who love independence and believe in it and would fight for it. These innocent people who are being attacked in Ukraine, and as many Christians there, it's a sad thing. And I'm so relieved that my niece is back in Houston. She traveled back and forth and worked in Russia for a long time and still does, but she's not there now. This war is further confirmation that we must continue to pray and call on Congress and all of the elected officials to become energy independent in the United States. And I had a message that we would wear attire that would be somewhat different. Well, this was my grandfather's tie at his 50th anniversary, which was a long time ago, and so Teresa found it and got it out, and I put it on. So I painted it on her, but I enjoyed wearing it, and we did it at our 50th, not but a week or so ago, so that's the reason for it.
Well, happy 50th anniversary to you and your lovely bride, Teresa. We always love having you here, too. And I want to echo what Commissioner Beaker just said. We usually can't talk away from this meeting because it would be a quorum if two of us are talking, so we're very careful never to break that. But I thought it probably would not be considered commission business if I asked them if they'd be willing to wear something in the Ukrainian flag colors of yellow and blue. And I sent a message to both of them on Sunday evening, and boy, that was the quickest response I've ever gotten. 100% agreement. We've got to be praying for the country of Ukraine, for our entire world, for our country. And the guys said, you got it. We'll have on our bright yellow and blue. And Commissioner, I love your lapel pin, in fact. So, but I think we all stand together on this, as do I think all of you in this room and our country. But it's sad times right now. And now, if we can move on to the approval and the adoption of the minutes from our February 1st, 2022 Public Service Commission meeting. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Cavanaugh.
Yes.
Commissioner Holden.
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker.
Yes.
With there being no old business to bring before the commission, we will begin with our new business, and that will be our Public Service Commission reports. We will begin with our Utility Services Division, presented by Mr. Jeff Johnson, the Division Director.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
I'll be presenting the Utility Services Division report for the month of January 2022. We'll begin with the Consumer Services report. For electric and gas utilities for Alabama Power, there were a total of 30. That's up a little bit from last month, but it's down significantly from last year. The February numbers are typically the largest in the year with the onset of winter and higher power bills in January and February, so we should see this going down in the coming months. Spire Alabama was at 7. That's up slightly from last month, but still within normal. And Spire Gulf had 0. On telecommunication inquiries, basic service only, there were 2, and both of those were just for information. Under other retail services, there were a total of 8. 3 of those were under the PSC jurisdiction, and again, 2 of those were information only. Referred inquiries, there were a total of 17. So for the month, Telecom, there was a total of 27. On to the gas agenda. Under dockets 18046 and 18328, it's the division report on rate RSE as of January 31, 2022. Based on preliminary figures at the point of test January 31, 2022, the projected RSE return on average common equity for the rate year ending September 30, 2022 was 9.9%. This is below the authorized range and results in no adjustments to rates. Under docket 28101 for Spire Gulf, division report on rate RSE as of January 31, 2022. Again, based on the preliminary figures as of January 31, the projected RSE return on average common equity for the rate year ending September 30, 2022 was 8.58%. Again, this is under the authorized range, and there's no effect on rates. Moving to the water agenda under wastewater, docket 32553, Community Utilities of Alabama. They're requesting a modification to their existing certificate of financial viability, expanding the authorized service territory by adding the wastewater system for the planned Longleaf Phase 3 to their certificate. There's no impact on rates, and we recommend approval.
Second.
Commissioner Cavanaugh.
Yes.
Commissioner Oden.
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker.
Yes.
On the telecommunication agenda, I'd like to take the first 4 items together. We have 2 interconnection agreements. Docket U5414, Farmers Telecommunication Cooperative, Inc., and Teleport Communications America, LLC. Under docket U5415, Hayneville Telephone Company and Teleport Communications America, LLC. Under amended interconnection agreements, docket U4020, Bell South Telecommunications, LLC, doing business as AT&T Alabama or AT&T Southeast, hereafter referred to as Bell South, and Callis Communications, Inc. Under docket U4701, Bell South and Comcast Phone of Alabama, LLC, doing business as Simco, a division of Comcast Business Services, and Comcast Phone of Alabama, LLC, doing business as Comcast Digital Phone. We recommend approval.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Cavanaugh.
Yes.
Commissioner Oden. Commissioner Beaker.
Yes.
Under cancellations, withdrawals, I'd like to take these 3 together. Docket U4967, DSI ITI LLC. This company provides inmate phone service in the state of Alabama. The company has stated it is no longer providing any telecommunication services in the state of Alabama. Therefore, no customers will be affected by the cancellation. Under docket 22210 and 22910, Value Added Communications, Inc., doing business as GTL, doing business as GTL. They are a telephone resale service and coin-operated telephone service, adding inmate phone service in Alabama. The company has stated it no longer is providing any telecommunication services in the state. Therefore, no customers will be affected by the cancellation. And lastly, under docket U4394, 28500, Public Communication Services, Inc. They provide services to confinement facilities, providing coin-operated telephone service. Again, they have stated they no longer provide any telecommunication services in Alabama, and no customers will be affected. We recommend approval of all of those.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Cavanaugh.
Yes.
Commissioner Oden.
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker.
Yes.
If there are no questions, that concludes our report for the month.
Thank you. Next, we have our Gas Pipeline and Safety Division, presented by Mr. Wallace Jones, the Division Director.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Beautiful day. You have before you the GPS agenda dated February 22nd. During the month of January, we had 5 standard inspections, 20 construction inspections, and 22 follow-ups for a total of 47 inspections. And from those, we had 30 non-compliance issues that were corrected during the month of January, and no enforcement letters of notification were issued. Had one state reportable incident, Southeast Gas in their Montgomery area. A logging operator ran over a high-pressure setting out in the country and broke it off at ground level. Fortunately, they only lost one customer and nobody was injured, fires or explosions or anything. Training, we had 2 operator contractor training sessions for Southern Directional and General Maintenance, both contractors. We had 53 people that were qualified. Going to page 2 under miscellaneous, we had a report by a Continuum Capital for the Infrastructure Protection Coalition. Mouthful there. They wrote a report that went against a lot of the states in their 811 programs. So the NAPSR, the National Association of Pipeline Safety Representatives, and the 811 systems are getting together to send back comments on this report that this people put out. There are a lot of discrepancies in what is actually out there. So hopefully they have given NAPSR 6 weeks to respond back to them. Hopefully once they get the corrections, they'll do a revised report, but don't know yet at this point. Also met with the Government Accounting Office regarding PHMSA's enforcement actions during the month of January, and also worked with State Personnel Department to develop pipeline engineering graduate senior classification. Any further questions? That's our report for the month.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Next is our Utility Enforcement Division, presented by Administrative Law Judge Scott Morris, the Division Director.
Madam President, Commissioners, good morning and happy Mardi Gras.
I like your beads.
Thank you. I have the report today for the Utility Enforcement Division, beginning with our Railway Safety section. All of my report everything is routine in nature, but I will highlight a few items. The Rail Safety section did visit 4 rail carriers, conducted 10 regular track inspections, identified 53 defects, none of which rose to the level of a violation. On our motive power and equipment side, 4 rail carriers were visited, 14 inspections were conducted, 208 defects identified, again, none rising to the level of a violation. We also conducted 1 blue flag protection observation, in which no non-compliant conditions were identified. We did have a number of incidents that rose to the level of being reported to the National Response Center, and unfortunately, 2 of those, as is rather common, unfortunately, 2 of those did result in fatalities. One at Marion Junction on Norfolk Southern, and another in Decatur on CSX. Moving to the Motor Carrier Services section, again, a rather routine month. We issued 13 vehicle registration numbers, processed 11 applications, approved 6 new authorities. In total, responded to almost about 260, 270 inquiries relating to either Motor Carrier Authority, insurance, or UCR. Our UCR audits continue. We did collect almost $2,800 in the month of January. We also did receive some tariffs filings. There was one for M&M Mobility Incorporated, doing business as Caravan Transport. That one was accepted. 3 household good tariffs for All My Sons Moving and Storage of Birmingham, All My Sons Moving and Storage of Pensacola, and Scott R. Enterprises, LLC, doing business as College Hunks Hauling Junk and Moving, were accepted. We also did an audit of Haynes Ambulance of Troy and determined that they, in addition to their regular authority, they needed nonprofit authority because they were transporting for Medicaid, and that generally requires a nonprofit certificate. We also did attend a number of passenger carrier hearings for the month. We also attended a hearing for a transportation network company, and hopefully legal division on that shortly. Pending any questions, this concludes my presentation for today.
I think this would just be a great time to reiterate what you mentioned earlier this week, and that is never try to go around a train or try to outrun a train. We have seen too many times where we get the evidence that it just doesn't turn out well. The train is moving too fast. It cannot slow down. And so it's just, if you have young children, grandchildren, and they're driving, make sure you explain to them how deadly a train accident is and not to try to do that. In fact, when the rail lights start blinking or the rail guard comes down, you have
20 seconds.
20 seconds.
20 seconds.
So just make sure you tell, especially your young drivers, I don't think the older drivers tend to want to outrun a train, but it seems like the younger ones do. So make sure that you talk to your children and your grandchildren about it. It's so important. Those are not good reports that we get.
Just want to reiterate that train cannot stop. In many cases, that train is 1.5 miles long, and it will take it 1.5 miles to 2 miles once the engineer conductor applies the brakes for that thing to come to a complete stop. So there's no way, if you're trying to run and you get stuck on that tracks and that thing comes down, you need to get out of your car and move away from the vehicle, because there is no way that train is going to be able to stop.
I always like to add too, pictures on railroad tracks is not legal.
Right.
So a lot of people out there see these pictures on railroad tracks. That is not a good thing. So trains and humans, usually the humans lose.
Yeah,
so.
the National Response Center sends out an email every day, and that is called trespassing. Unless you're going across an approved grade crossing, you are trespassing.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. The Hollywood pictures just aren't real life, so don't try it. All right, next we have our Electricity Policy Division presented by Mr. John Free, our Division Director, and Ms. Patricia Smith, our Public Utility Analyst Manager.
Good morning, Commissioner.
Morning.
We have before you the Electricity Policy Division's agenda dated February 22nd, 2022. Update on rates RSC and ECR for Alabama Power Company.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
The first item on our agenda is the Division's monthly report on rates RSC and ECR in dockets 18117, 18416, and 18148. Due to Alabama Power Company deploying a new accounting system in January 2022, many of their accounting and reporting processes have been delayed. As such, the reprojected weighted return on average retail common equity of 6.08% is based on 12 months of budget data for January through December 2022. The Electricity Policy Division will perform the regular monthly examination of the books and records of Alabama Power Company later this month. For the same reasons stated previously, the actual data for rate ECR is unavailable at this time. Therefore, we are reporting budgeted data for January 2022, which is an under recovery of approximately $27.9 million. Commissioner, this is our report on rates RSC and ECR.
Thank you.
Commissioners, the next item is under dockets 18117 and 18416. On February 1, 2022, Alabama Power Company submitted information and calculations for the CMP purchase factors associated with the company's certificated power purchase arrangements. Filing reflects a projected under recovery of costs which would normally be recoverable in the billing months of April 1, 2022 through March 31st, 2023. However, the staff is proposing that in lieu of new CMP purchase factors, the company leave the current CMP purchase factors in effect for the period April 1, 2022, March 31st, 2023. We recommend approval.
So move.
Second.
Commissioner Cavanaugh.
Yes.
Commissioner Oden.
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker.
Yes.
Next item is under docket 18005 concerning the annual update to rate PAE. The energy payments set forth in the filing reflect updated cost and avoided cost data. In addition, Alabama Power is also proposing a new PAE option for residential customers that elect to take service under the recently approved rate FDD. Lastly, the company is proposing several clarifying and ministerial changes associated with the various time periods applicable to the different service options available under the tariff. The company has requested the proposed modifications become effective for April 2022 billings. We recommend approval.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Cavanaugh.
Yes.
Commissioner Oden.
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker.
Yes.
Next item is under docket U 5213 concerning the annual update to rate CPE. Rate CPE applies to qualifying facilities with a nameplate capacity greater than 100 kW, sell energy to Alabama Power Company. Payments set forth reflect updated cost and avoided cost data. The company has requested the new rates become effective April 1, 2022. Staff recommends approval.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Cavanaugh.
Yes.
Commissioner Oden.
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker.
Yes.
Last item we have is under docket U 5055. On February 15, 2022, Alabama Power filed with the Alabama Public Service Commission a petition to modify rate rider PEV to expand the residential rate schedules eligible for service under the rate and provide clarifications as to the eligibility requirements and administration of the rate rider. Proposed revisions would become effective with April 2022 billings, and the staff recommends.
So move.
Second.
Commissioner Cavanaugh.
Yes.
Commissioner Oden.
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker.
Yes.
Questions that you may have, this completes our report this morning.
Thank you all. Appreciate all your hard work. Next, we have our legal division represented by our administrative law judges, Ms. Sue Ellen Young, Mr. Luke Bentley, followed by Judge John Garner.
Morning, Commissioners. My first two items are on the original agenda. Docket 32952 is the motor carrier application of Meridian LLC of Millbrook, Alabama, to extend an existing operation. A report and recommended order was entered in this cause on January the 31st, 2022, which recommended that the application be denied. No exceptions were filed to the report and recommended order within the 20 days from the date of service. A recommended denial of the authority as sought.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Cavanaugh.
Yes.
Commissioner Oden.
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker.
Yes.
Next item is docket 33174, motor carrier certificate 4129, which was issued to Chandra Parker, DBA Premier Cabulance of Valley, Alabama, by commission order dated November 3rd, 2021. The order required that Premier Cabulance file a tariff, obtain insurance and registration numbers, and properly identify their vehicles. They have failed to make the required filings. Recommend a cancellation on 30 days' notice.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Cavanaugh.
Yes.
Commissioner Oden.
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker.
Yes.
My last item is an off-agenda item, docket 33212. It's an unopposed motor carrier application of Gregory Sargent, DBA Southern Transportation of Chunchula, Alabama, for a certificate to transport passengers and non-emergency medical transportation services. A hearing was held and the testimony was offered to meet the statutory requirements for a certificate to be issued. The applicant waived their right to a report and recommended order at the hearing. I recommend a grant.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Cavanaugh.
Yes.
Commissioner Oden.
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker.
Yes.
Thank you, that's all I have.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
I have 5 items on the agenda. They're all motor carriers requesting reinstatement of their certificates. So with your permission, I'll present them all together. Under docket C 20197, petition of C&R Movers LLC of Montgomery, Alabama for reinstatement
of motor carrier certificate 4043, which was revoked due to the petitioner's failure to maintain proper proof of liability and cargo insurance coverage. Under docket C, 20188, petition of S&E Site Development LLC of Dothan, Alabama, for reinstatement of motor carrier certificate F5292, which was revoked due to the petitioner's failure to maintain proper proof of liability insurance coverage. Under docket C, 20192, petition of Jackson's Truck Auto LLC, doing business as Jackson's Truck Auto of Aniana, Alabama, for reinstatement of motor carrier certificate F4513, which was revoked due to the petitioner's failure to maintain proper proof of cargo insurance coverage. Under docket C, 20220, petition of Stevens Trucking Company, Inc. of Laverne, Alabama, for reinstatement of motor carrier certificate F5168, which was revoked due to the petitioner's failure to maintain proper proof of cargo insurance coverage. And last, docket C, 20183, petition of Moving Iron, Inc. of Red Bay, Alabama, for reinstatement of motor carrier certificate F1458, which was revoked due to the petitioner's failure to maintain proper proof of cargo insurance coverage. For all of these, I recommend grants of the petition and reinstatement of the certificate.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Cavanaugh.
Yes.
Commissioner Holden.
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Judge, do you have any other items?
Thank you, Madam President. The only items I have for consideration are those reflected on the administrative agenda. I recommend approval of all those items.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Cavanaugh.
Yes.
Commissioner Holden.
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker.
Yes.
That's all I have, Madam President. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any other business to bring before the commission? With there being no more new business, in closing, let me remind you that our next regularly scheduled monthly meeting of the Alabama Public Service Commission will be on April the 5th of 2022. Just a quick reminder to turn your phones back on so you don't miss that important call. And with that, we stand adjourned.